Hello there, welcome back. Thanks for being here. So, in our previous lecture, we have seen how the testing has shifted towards left with the effect of test driven development. So, we talked about how testing can be conducted in parallel to the development or even before the development. So, in order to work with the testing setup at the early stage in the development life cycle, we have talked about what is really necessary, like how to fake or how to mock the data and how to write stubs, and what is the necessity of creating the service virtualizations and mocks, dummy, fakes, and we have seen all possible things which we termed it as a test double. So test double defines all of these things, and we have also seen what is the difference between each and every type of test double and when to use what. So with that said, we have understood theoretically the conceptual approach of the testing with when the test driven development is actually implemented in an agile team. So now in this lecture we are going to see how that is going to be achieved, because when we are working with such kind of things, we should have a tool, we should take a help of tool that essentially helps us to write powerful steps. So as I was just talking about a tool on the previous lecture as well, so which is WireMock. So now I have a little more theoretical knowledge about WireMock, so before we actually get into the practical implementation of it, so let us go through that. So WireMock is basically a JVM based tool, and it is a HTTP simulator for all the API calls. So what does it do? It just receives your request, and when there is a URL match, and it checks in the repository, and if there is a particular contract present, and it just verifies if the request is matching with yours, and it provides the response that it has. So now what are these things, like what WireMock has in its repository? So WireMock supports stubs. So in the WireMock repository, so it is our duty to keep the contracts or keep the stubs, so that WireMock does a check whenever there is a call to or whenever there is a hit for a particular API. So if it does not present, WireMock returns saying that I cannot found with the 404 error. On the other hand, if there is something that is actually present, if there is something that is matching, it helps you with the response body. So now with this infrastructure in place, so how do we test? So as a test team, upon understanding the requirement by going through the business functionality, maybe the user story in the agile case, so we as a team, developer, business analyst, and the tester, so we sit together and we understand the stub. We write what fields are required, and what headers are to be present in the request body, and what should be the context URL, and and what should the status code that the API should be returning, and what is the body that I should be expecting in the response. So we'll all agree and we create a contract, and now it is developers duty to stick to that contract even when the real API is ready. So essentially the WireMock is actually helping us to conduct the testing even when there is no development done or when there is no environment present. So in these two cases still we are productive. So WireMock is helping us to do testing with such an extent, so we should really thank WireMock for this beautiful offering, so as it is helping us to do a lot more. And WireMock can operate in two different means, like whenever there is a testing tool, so it supports manual testing as well as the automation testing. Yeah, so in the same fashion, WireMock can operate as a standalone server, so where you can just download the jar file and you can do some manual testing around by using the Postman. On the other hand, you can have Java dependencies, you can have Maven dependencies loaded onto your project in the pom.xml file, and you have WireMock has their implementation classes. So with the use of them, you can create dynamic stubs and you can load those stubs before your test starts, and we can test as well. And WireMock not just supports the mapping of stubs, it also does proxying and recording of calls. So when I say proxying means it just intercepts your call. Say for example, sometimes we often come across scenarios that when we are actually trying to hit one website, so we are automatically redirect to another website. So it could be an undesired one or whatever may be the case. So sometimes the redirection is possible. So in the same fashion, when there is a need that when you hit a specific endpoint and you need to be routed to another URL, so WireMock helps that too. Because right now the applications are built in microservice model. So each and every service is built as a smaller chunk, and each and every service has its own scope. If at all something beyond is required, so the microservice will not be hesitant in talking to another microservices and get the data for you. So in those cases, the proxying really helps. And you should also record the calls. I mean, at times recording of the call to replay it against the test is also required, because when you are working with microservices, or when you are working with real-time mocking APIs where you are talking to an external application, so that time recording really helps. So these are some of the highlights or features of a WireMock as a tool. So let us also understand like how this works in a schematic way. If you look at my figure, so the top diagram says it is a straight. So actor as a user, I am actually reaching a real API. Say for example, I am working with a PayPal or a Paytm payment gateway application in my phone that is installed in my mobile phone. So basically I can book flight tickets, or I can book movie tickets, or I can recharge my mobile phone, I can recharge my dish TV. So I can do a lot of other operations. So which means some of the APIs are exposed to the user. So when I hit a specific endpoint, when I hit a specific URL, something is happening. Like if I wanted to do a recharge, so such functionalities are being processed. In the same fashion, say when I'm recharging my mobile phone, say for example, I'm sending the request, hey, so my mobile phone number is this one, and this number belongs to so and so service provider, and I would like to recharge with this much amount. So this is my body, this is my request to the API. So the API actually consumes this data, and it processes and it returns the message saying that, hey, the recharge call that you have requested for has successfully done from our end, so make sure you are experiences the services. So this is how the conversation between you and the real time at a very, very high level. But in real time you have a lot of third party involvement as well, but in order to give a scenario I've just explained. And now if you look at the bottom figure, now how do we actually mock this conversation? Like I don't have a Paytm or a PayPal API with me in my test environment, but I have to do the similar kind of testing. So now what I do as an actor in the integration testing level, so I deploy a WireMock server, I start a WireMock server. So WireMock server has its a mapping repository. So where I should have an idea of what should happen and what should I have before I request a Paytm or a PayPal. So in the scenario that we have discussed in the mobile recharge phone, so I'm pretty clear that what request I need to send. So what data I need to send. I understand that I need to feed in the mobile phone number based on that the service provider is being fetched, and I need to tell the amount that I wanted to recharge with. All those details I need to carry. And I should also expect some response. So let us agree for a response. Okay, when this particular transaction, when this request happens with these details, you just let me know the status code is 200 and message is recharge done successfully, and some other extra message like thank you note or whatever it might have some other extra data as well. Like it might have a lot of headers or related to application content type, or it can have session cookies or anything that matters for this transaction. So I need to understand that, and I need to create a stub. And so that the mock API is ready, the WireMock acts as a simulator, and instead of having the real API, I can really test with this mock API. And now you might have a question like right from the beginning. So I've been talking about stub and mock, fake and all that. So what is really stub? Like I've heard it a dime a dozen times that you're mentioning, but I still have a hard time to understand like what is stub all about and how to create a stub. So it is quite easy. Let's just see how the stub looks like. So this is the basic stub. So I would also term this as a contract. Yeah. So in this specific stub, in this specific contract, if you look at, there are two bodies. So one is request and response. It is a JSON message first of all, and the request block has couple of parameters, couple of fields, which is method, and the URL. So which means we are going to apply a HTTP method which is of get type, and the URL, the context URL that I'm trying to reach is /some/thing, that is the endpoint. So you should still find a server. Say for example, if the WireMock is running on my local, so my local host is the host name of it, is the server. So server name followed by your path parameter makes a complete URI. And when I reach that endpoint, so I'm expecting a response saying that status code is 200 and status message saying that everything was just fine. So this is the agreement that is happened between developer and myself, and also the whoever is required in that business for that matter. So we created this stub and we placed in the WireMock repository. So whenever a particular user actually hits this particular URL /some/thing, they tend to see this response as 200, status 200, and status message as everything was just fine. So we already talked about that stub has no logic in it, and stub is not that intelligent. So how many times you hit, it is going to give you the same response. So that is the reason we are going a bit higher, and then we are creating some mocks. So mock internally uses stub. So if you haven't gone through my previous lecture, like what is the difference between stub and mock and fake, so please go through. So I have given essential knowledge that is required to relate to this content. So now this is what the stub capability, how many times you hit it, it is going to give you the same response. So accordingly you will have as many number of stubs as you need to test. Yeah. And how does really work? So this is just again a schematic of its workflow. So as a client, when I reach a WireMock server with the request body /sample and the method is get, and WireMock does a check in the repository in the request mapping folder, and it finds it and it is giving me a response saying that status is 200 and body file name is body.json and header file name is headers is content type is application/json. So body.json I would be explaining little like as we go by. We can have a body file fetched from an external file as well, or you can hard code the JSON body, or you can tweak in the manner you want. So as we move forward in this lecture, so we will deal with it. So at this point in time, just have an understanding that okay, when client requests a WireMock with a specific request, and it is being checked in the repository and it is throwing a response back. So that is what we call it as response data. So it is your duty to have both request and response stored in that local, and then you test it. So the idea here is that now you know the requirement. So since we are agreeing as a contract, so we know like even how the real system should behave. So that test design happens in the early life cycle, and the thorough testing is happening in the early life cycle, but the execution happens twice, because once you are testing it with the stub, and when the real API is ready, you are testing against the real API. So which means, so the execution should happen twice, but the test design and the exploration of the testing concepts and the thorough testing, so everything happens once, and it is also happening at the very early stage, which is very advantageous for the business to go live as per the expected timelines. Yeah. And now let's also see how the proxying works. So I just explained you that how the proxying supports, like if I wanted to route to another URL, so I predominantly rely on this particular service. So when I send a request to WireMock server, again WireMock does a check in the mapping. So there is a field called proxy based URL, proxy URL pattern. So when that particular field is present in the response, so whatever the value that is set to that particular field, the routing happens to there. So this simple that is. So what happens, like instead of the fetching from the local host, you can actually fetch from the other host. So no problem. Just have a theoretical understanding at this point. I'll have a very brief demo of how to do a proxying operation and how to reach to a google.com when we actually hit the local host. So I have a decent explanation that would be coming in my future lecture. So at this point in time, I would really recommend to just stick to this definition, and so that you have this knowledge and you can better correlate when we are actually doing the hands-on. Yeah. So with that said, let us just conclude with the advantages. So the advantages that we basically have working with WireMock is that, so we don't need any environment. So we are not actually expecting I need a specific environment to be present. As long as you have WireMock installed on your local, you're all good. You can conduct your testing and you don't need to wait until the development completes. So this is one of the best strategy. That is the reason why the TDD is so famous and it is widely adopted, because everybody just they move on with their work, and they are just collaborating and they're connecting all the dots at one shot, and then they're understanding, so that the refactoring of the scenarios happens and refactoring of the code, and the quality really improves. So we are not actually relying on development team at all. So let the development team come with their own implementation, but until then, whatever I understand, I write this as a stub, because we already agreed with the business stakeholders. So I'm expecting the same to be happening even when the real-time system presents. So that's what the understanding all about, and we can actually create a stubs very easily. That is one of the advantages of this particular tool. So this is what I have for this lecture, guys. So this is more than enough to have a theoretical understanding as far as the WireMock as a tool is concerned. So in the next lecture, without a delay, I would just take you through the documentation of the WireMock and how to download the standalone jar, and we'll spend some time around how to do a manual testing with the Postman, and then I'll take you through the automation, like how to create a stub through Java piece of code, and we also consider testing it with our rest assured services. So that is again very important, because you created a stub, there should be a script that should be testing for as well. So then only we call it as complete automation. Yeah, so I hope I made the points very clear with respect to the WireMock and with respect to how the testing has moved towards the left, and what we should be ready as a QA team. And I think the expectation is very well set. So I hope you have learned, you have had a good learning in this lecture. So please subscribe to this channel so that you are aware. So whenever I push a video to this channel, and also please do like this video and encourage. And I would really appreciate if somebody comes back with a feedback saying like what are the areas that I need to improve on, and what are the things that I'm really doing good on, because that actually helps me how better I'm reaching to the world, and where I need to get better still. So please do your bit of help on that front. So thank you so much, guys. You have a great rest of today.